Welcome, everyone. Simulation Talk 214. Recently, I've had a lot of things that kind of pop up right before the chat, so apologies for being late. Sometimes life calls. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. What's up, Cosmic Cowboy? How are everybody doing? How's everybody's Friday? Are everybody ready for the weekend? What's up, Blue Eisenhower? Owl, Chris, Ebony, Charlie, how are you, everybody? Mama Bear. How are you doing, Spectre? Okay. Chris, I haven't seen you in a second. I hope everything is okay. Good to see you. Dope. Okay, so I think we can slowly begin. How are everybody doing? How's everybody's preparation for the weekend? Anything interesting? So happy to be here, never awake for these. Yeah, are you somewhere in the world where it's kind of hard to keep track of the time? It is Easter. I wasn't even referring to that, but yes, it is also Easter. Nico, how are you, my brother? Good to see everyone on TikTok and X and YouTube and Twitch. By the way, if you want to join from Twitch, it will be LaserX83. That's the handle. Otherwise, Dango Thoughts, the main address. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. What's up, Nicola? Busy week. Well, I'm glad. That's a good thing. Thank you for the gifts, Nico. I appreciate you. The Sovereign Soul. What a handle. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's dive in. I don't know if you guys saw. Actually, let me see. I also had a pretty crazy week. So let me just catch up. By the way, I sent the invite for all the members for the Zoom call. If you haven't gotten it, make sure you email me to lasersimulationx@gmail.com to let me know that you did not receive the invitation, so I can send you one if you are a member from the second tier and up on YouTube members. On Dango Thoughts on YouTube. Let's see. There we go. Oh, this is what we have now. I see people perplexed about my post with David Deutsch. That's really funny. I highly recommend this podcast. It is Deutsch is the writer of The Beginning of Infinity, and this book is forever green, and now it's more relevant than ever, I think. And the majority of the reason that I posted it, I think it starts from like minute 15 or 20 when they start talking about it. Basically, the main reason I posted it is because on Discord, which, by the way, if you're not on Discord, come join our Discord. Absolutely. It is on Dango Thoughts on YouTube, the third link from the top. If you're on any other platform, go check it out and join our Discord. We have an incredible community. And the reason I share this conversation is because I think there's quite a bit of breakdown of communication as of late in the world. And they're specifically talking about the challenges of knowledge transfer and communication. And specifically, they're talking about the fact that according to Deutsch's analysis, which I fully agree with, communication mostly relying on the receiver's side. So even though there's a lot of information, communication can only truly happen when the receiver of the information is interested in trying to understand what is being communicated. And that this understanding is a very deep concept that Deutsch is proposing. It's much more than just the regular way, colloquial way we use the word understanding. He asks that word to do a lot more work than it usually does, which is that it's a very particular instance in information processing where there's an instantiation of the most essential fundamental component of what is being communicated, or the aggregation of all of these things that can translate to something that is actionable or can do work. And that always requires a lot of attention on the thing. One example, bless you, baby, that they give in a conversation is that uh, how many people that, somebody showed them how to make a fire and still don't know how to make a fire, as opposed to how many people learn how to make a fire like from scratch, just by observing others doing it, right? And it has to do with their mindset, their state of being and mind in the instance of receiving that information. Are you interested in understanding what is actually being communicated? Are you interested in actually learning what that is? Obviously, this is why when conversations get heated, it's very difficult to transfer information because there's this insistence of just scoring points and not so much of trying to understand what is being spoken. No matter how much we disagree with one another on whatever subject, it is really important that we pay attention to what is actually being communicated or attempted to be communicated, because that's a real thing. You can misunderstand, and for the most part, you will, because that's the communication process where you go back and forth a little bit, clarifications, because you're sampling from an infinite space. And then slowly you're honing in on the things that are relevant for that level of emergence, for that level of conversation. Wait, let me see here. Wait, is this correct? I don't know if this is correct. I can't see it. Okay. But the reason I share that conversation, I think it's a very important one. So anybody who didn't join Discord, first of all, join Discord, and it is on our general chat. And if you scroll up a little bit, it's a conversation with Alex O'Connor interviewing David Deutsch called Enlightenment Supremacy. Highly recommend that conversation if you're not going to read the book. It is very, very, very important in our day and age. Join the Discord indeed. Also, if you want to check out anything else that we're doing, code of reality.com is our address for checking out anything that's to do with experimentation. Thank you, Nico. Long time no speak, exactly. Great conversation today, but I'm glad we had it. Thank you, Ebony. Appreciate you. Let's see what we got. I was swallowed by a snake. It was a snake slide at the zoo. I read trip reports of ego loss by being eaten by snakes. How symbolic. What's up, Greg? So good to see you. 2 years, 1 month, exactly. But I think it's much deeper than that. But I know what you mean. I agree with that. What's up, Michael? Do you think console soon might modify the code? Maybe. I mean, I can't wait to find out what that is for. I'm very into the telepathy tapes. Haven't done as deep of a dive as I would like, but I'll get around to it. I believe it to be latent ability with all of us. All right, I'm gonna have my coffee before I fall asleep on you. Ooh, what's up, Indweller? Mind blower today. Tell us. If you spray your console with water, will other people be able to see the water drops on it? No, of course not. It's something that I see in my mind's eye. I don't assume that it actually appears in a physical way. Sonar infrared, UV detect console. Again, all incredible questions. Things to test. So hopefully soon we'll test them. I think one of the most relevant. What is that? Oh, it's the bugs. One of the most relevant things that I found in the conversation with Deutsch was a reminder that really the only reason that we can communicate in the first place is not just because we speak the same language, but because we're sampling from a similar frames. So there's so much information, even in the simplest statement, that usually even when two well-intentioned people are engaged in a conversation, there's still a lot of misunderstanding because both sides assuming certain things, even though they're sampling from a simple pool of understanding. And really, any example you can give you in the simplest statement, you will find that if you dig down, the only reason you kind of knew what the other person was trying to say was because you sample from a very limited pool of what it can be. And it explains a lot of miscommunication that people have, and they get frustrated, but it's just the nature of communication. It's very difficult. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. If we can only be more aware of this and help each other talk to each other in a way that actually listen, actually pay attention, then formulate something that you actually want to say. These things are, I mean, if I can think of a golden skill at the moment, that would be it. Try the chance to try out the red laser enhancement glasses. No, not yet. Have I went to Star Wars Wars like world on Dimitri? No, never did that. Sounds interesting. I'm gonna finish my coffee real quick. Ooh, today was a lot of energies. I guess because it's Good Friday, huh? Woo. Okay. Hopefully this will kick us back into gear. And just reminding everybody also on Sunday we have our members live. So if you're not a member yet, come join a membership on YouTube. Then go thoughts on YouTube, which will open the opportunity for you to be part of the weekly live for members only. And on Monday, we have the Zoom call if you're a member from the second tier and up. My Instagram algorithm shows me tons of parkour. I assume it's your fault. Do you still YouTube practice? YouTube practice? You mean parkour practice? What do you mean YouTube practice? Is that a brain fart? So excited to see things like this breaking into the zeitgeist. Feels like we're on the edge of something incredible for humanity. Couldn't agree more, Michael. Good to have you here. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything that I am forgetting here. Nothing really comes up. Autocorrect. How can this be autocorrect? It says YouTube instead of parkour? That's crazy. Do I still practice parkour? No, I do not. I think my knees and my back are not. I'm not happy about me jumping off of buildings at the moment. But it was a fun period for sure. Let's see what else we got that I can bring from. Oh, by the way, I checked out Ellipsian's music yesterday, and it was dope. It's like trance. It's really, really good. You guys should definitely check it out. Here, I'll share it here. Really enjoyed it. Why do we not have let's see. I don't know what, by the way, you know that all the other chats aside from um general chat is not showing me that there's like new messages in the other chats on Discord. I wonder if it's just on my end. Oh, beautiful. I see Limbo posted something from Charles Eisenstein. That's always good. I haven't watched it yet, but it's Charles usually have a lot of fun. Wisdom. By the way, if you haven't watched his conversation with me, that was a lot of fun. One of my favorites. You can go check it out on Dango Thoughts on YouTube. It is my conversation with Charles Eisenstein. He was really nice. Oh, dude, yeah, it definitely is not telling me that there's new messages. So weird. Wonder why that is. Well, we'll fix it eventually. Let's see. I think that's it. Discord confuses me sometimes quite a bit. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. There's so many places here that just like things are kind of hidden. Uh, I'm just trying to get it out of the way. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I think I caught up on what I needed. Channels are highlighted for me when there's new posts. Yeah, so usually it tells me like in the general chat, if somebody puts a message in there right now, I will see that it says new message. But in all the other chats, it doesn't do that. Let's test this. Go to high strangeness, Ebony, and put a message of some sort. I want to see if it appears. You can just do test. You don't have to think of anything fancy. Somebody says burrito is done in microwave. Sounds good, Gloomy. Pop Tart. Spending time in space. Notification setting isn't on Discord. It is not showing. Yeah, but why is it showing only on one chat? That sounds weird. Why would that be the case? What's up, Guru? No, I was saying I tried the experiment on mushrooms and saw the code. I have tried to get a few friends to see it, but none of them can. That is so weird. I can't wait to figure out what's going on with that. Why is it that some people can just see it and other people takes them so long to see it? It's so bizarre. Spice is essential for space travel. Correct. Correct. Very telling. Favorite emoji? Let me see. I'm excited now. Yeah, it's twerking alien. Yeah, it's not telling me. That's so weird. So weird. And why there's a message you haven't read. If wait, then you. Yeah, but the thing is, so thank you for the clarification, Chris. But the thing is, that when a message appears in general chat, it also appears as like a little +1 or like a little thing on the right, like a little red circle that shows me that there's also messages. Why is it only appearing in one chat? Calcified pineal gland? I don't know. Why can they all of a sudden see it then? Put the laser on the microscope. Do tell. And please fill out the report on codeofreality.com. That would be super helpful. Unconscious resistance might be it. Yeah, I was thinking about that. But what does that mean in technical terms? Like, what does that mean? How do you resolve that? I always wonder, like, from a technical standpoint, how do you resolve something like this? I want to know what Noah saw in under a microscope. I'm excited. That's only if you have been. Oh, I see. See, I would never have figured it out. Thank you. Wait. Okay. So tag me in any other chat. I want to see if that works. Tag me in technology. Let's say. It's interesting, man. It was hard to keep everything still. However, it seems like the code was not any larger. It was almost like looking at the same thing without the microscope. Interesting. That is very interesting for so many reasons. Because even if you want to postulate that it's a hallucination, then you would expect that whatever hallucination it is, it would appear larger because whatever wiggles it's made out of are larger. So you would expect the code to be larger. But, okay, well then. Have you had any success affecting the laser content using external forces? So far, no. I wish. Holographic, yes. But again, there's so many degrees of freedom here. It is very interesting. Will you please but yeah, I agree that there's something about the fractal element of it. Talk tick. I agree. And Noah, if you can fill out the report on the website, that would be super dope. And if you haven't joined our Discord, please do. We have a great Discord group. Come join it. Come check out Dango Thoughts on YouTube, and you can find the Discord, both links that people just shared, and you can find it on my main page on YouTube. It's not hallucinations, alien language. Nice. Skinny saying, even though I haven't seen the code for myself, the linear representation baffles me. Wait, who told you it's a linear representation? Or what do you mean by linear representation? Out of curiosity, is there another spectrum of light that the fractal laser could shine? Yeah, all the frequencies would work. All the frequencies would work. It's just easier to do with red because red is the lowest frequency, so it's less harsh on the eyes. Oh yeah, green, blue, they all work. It's even more because it appears brighter. Yeah, we tried many other colors. Tried purple-ish, blue, green. Well, that's it. Yeah, all of these questions about the content, Skinny, they're you can find a lot of these questions asked again and again on Discord. The short version of this answer is that you cannot really discern that because there's just a lot of information and it all changing, moving all the time. This is why I'm not really sure what is meant by linear presentation. It is not linear at all. The frequency is important? No. It seems that the frequency does not matter at all. I think the relevance of the frequency was that it is easier to do it for a long period of time. Different colors have different wavelengths. Yes, but it does not change the content that you're saying. Perfect, Noah. Thank you so much. What's up, Jessa? No, I have not tried the white. Wait, what? White laser. A laser that contains all the lasers? Let's see. I heard of this, but I don't remember what I know about this. So it seems that is it true white though? Isn't the whole point of a laser is that it's separate, like a separate frequency? What is meant by white laser? It's just they combine all the lights, all the frequencies together. So you recombine it basically, or it's just that it's concentrated. So they make the lasers and then they combine all of them at once. How do they do it exactly? And also, it cannot be too powerful because if it's too powerful, you're not gonna be able to spend any time with it. Let's see. Is white laser actually a laser? Yeah. So white laser is a commonly understood emitted a broad spectrum of visible light. Is not a true laser in the traditional sense. A laser, by definition, produces monochromatic light, meaning single specific wavelength of color. White light, however, is a mixture of many different wavelengths across the visible spectrum. That's what I would imagine. So it would not be a laser. What's up, Phonem? Yeah, they're not lasers in car lights, for sure, no. And again, we're not talking about LEDs. We're talking about lasers. It's a very specific definition. So just if there's any confusion, the laser part of it is not that it's a beam of light. The laser actually is not a beam of light. The laser is being concentrated by a lens that makes it into a beam, but it is not what makes it a laser is not the fact that it's a beam of light. It is the fact that it is one wavelength, one. It is coherent light. That's what makes it a laser. Amazing, Noah. Thank you so much. Reading reality switch technologies, and Andrew says assuming the experience is a hallucination is lazy. Yep. Maybe wonder why he assumes core is a hallucination. Feels lazy. Nice. Zing. White laser is a torch, flashlight. Exactly. But anything is worth a try. Yes, I agree. So people should try. The only thing is you don't want to be using too powerful, and you have to diffract it. So I'm not sure how you're going to be doing that with a flashlight. You're going to get a different result. Thoughts on David Icke? Seems to be like a fear monger. Does the phenomenon work with other intense light at all? Or does it have to be light created by a laser? Yeah, it seems to be that it has to be a laser. It does not work even with a laser. There's just a laser pointer. It has to be diffracted. There are codes in regular light, but you will not see the same kind of codes. I heard Einstein was wrong. Light is a wave, not a particle. Einstein was not wrong. Einstein got his Nobel Prize for discovering the photoelectric effect, but I don't know what you're referring to by being wrong. Light is neither a particle nor a wave. It presents itself as if it is a particle or a wave under different measurement conditions, but it is neither. Ellipsian, You weren't here, but I said I listened to music yesterday and it was dope. Really good music. I like it a lot. Have you heard they are saying that time travel is possible and America has the technology? Haven't heard, but I won't believe it till I see it. No, I haven't tried UV and IR yet, but it's definitely on the list. New sorry, what about simulation theory? Yes, only I'm actually not proposing a theory, not in terms of theoretical so much, but more as I discovered a way to see a portion of the information that is coming from the higher computational space. So that's essentially what we're talking about, man. You can watch my videos on the topic. There's some short ones, some long ones. There's some stuff here on TikTok, but the main ones are on YouTube on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. Is our reality a more practical hallucination for survival? Yes, only then you have to ask yourself, what is the survival for and what are you surviving in? So the question, what is this environment, remains. Doesn't actually solve for that problem. Amazing. Yeah, you can watch, Matt. I would recommend just watch the trailer. It's the thumbnail of the movie we're working on. The thumbnail is in somebody's eye with a laser pattern in their eyelid. It does not mean we're saying you need to project the laser into your eye. It's just a thumbnail. But that would give you a good idea of what we're doing. Are the characters more buzzing but with a central form? Or do the characters morph and blend between different characters constantly? No, they're very distinct. You can see that they're like an actual object, but they're moving around a lot. Ability to manipulate time and space is very broad and open to interpretation. Yes, it's like the old joke goes when you go into this big conference and they say time travel, and then you go in and you pay. You're like, what's the deal? It's like, well, you pay $50 and then you time travel. So you pay $50, you get in there, and they say, oh, I forgot to tell you, you basically travel 1 minute $1, which means that you sit in the room and then you move through time for 15 minutes for 50 minutes for $50. So you time traveled. Yeah, come check out Discord. Oh, I gotta see this. This is interesting. Michael Crucios. Here's claims about America having technology of time travel. Under what exact manipulate time and space? Sounds very. How much money anybody here wants to bet that it's not what the titles say? Let's start a bidding contest. Let's see. Let's see. Thank God for ChatGPT. Michael Cristios, a White House science and technology advisor, recently made headlines for stating that U.S. technology permit us to manipulate time and space. This remark, delivered during his keynote at the Endless Frontier retreat in Austin, Texas, on April 14th, 2025, sparked widespread speculations and debate online. Of course, it did. In his speech, Quartzios highlighted America's potential for innovation, referencing historical achievements like the Apollo mission, Apollo missions, and the development of the internet. He emphasized the need to overcome regulatory hurdles and reignite the nation's pioneering spirit. I would agree with that. The phrase manipulate time and space was used. Are you guys ready? In the context of discussion advancements in artificial intelligence, aerospace, and productivity tools, suggesting a metaphysical meaning rather than a literal one. Despite the metaphorical intent, let me do it again because this deserves an eye roll. The statement led to various interpretations, with some online users' speculations about secret technologies or time travel capabilities. However, there is no evidence to support such claims, and the comment appears to be a rhetorical device to underscore the transformative power of modern technology. It is now understood to be a fact that the media are a bunch of retards. Wow, ChatGPT is not supposed to say that. That's weird. Okay. In summary, while Quetzio's statements were attention grabbing, it was intended to inspire and highlights the potential of American innovation, not to disclose any literal ability to manipulate time and space, just to remind you that it is now known to be a fact that all journalists are absolute idiots. Wow, I never heard ChatGPT using such strong language. That's weird. That's not me. This is just ChatGPT said it. I know. The fact that this is actual titles. So like if you wonder, right? So because these are, I just saw the titles. This is actual titles of, let me tell you. The Economic Times. So if you ever listen to the Economic Times about any subject, you should stop. WBMA, Daily Mail. Well, Reddit is expected. Yeah, so you make your own decisions, but I would say anything else that they tell you, just stop. Stop listening to them. They're idiots. Oh my god. They restricted us. TikTok restricted me. Hey TikTok, the word retard is coming back. Now they're gonna like ban us completely. Media titles be like, what is it? Hydrotoxic acid kills 100% of humans who come in contact with. Yeah. The 80s are back, baby. I think if you wait, what if I flip? Oh, I think they do video too, right? What if I flip the finger to TikTok? Jesus, TikTok. Shape up, shape up. Catch up, catch up. You're just gonna keep doing things just to try and get canceled. If you're on TikTok, you should definitely migrate to YouTube because I think your days are numbered unless you change some things, TikTok. By the way, absolute idiots, I think was a technical term. Like if you look the word idiot in the dictionary, I think it's basically exactly what it is. Let's see. The dictionary just says a person of low intelligence. That tracks. But I have to say something actually that I've recently saw like a um like a White House address. What's that woman's name? She's the press secretary of press or something. The blonde girl. Whatever you think of the administration, what was weird to watch it just in terms of style is that it all of a sudden looked like adults in the room again. Like I was sitting there and I was like, that feels like when I was a kid, you would watch like something about, like something important and like they would sound like adults and serious people. And it's just, you realize that this was just gone from the picture the last few years. And now all of a sudden, like people, like reporters kind of got in line and like asking serious questions, sometimes uh, hard hitting questions, but relevant questions. And they get honest and direct answers. I was like, what's going on? This is crazy. So I guess the 80s are back, baby. But it does feel like we live in two different timelines. Because I do see a lot of people that are kind of like fighting with each other. And when you are, I guess, more in the middle, you're kind of looking at this and you go, like, what are you guys doing? Like, everybody just, there you go. Everybody just insisting that everybody else are wrong about everything. And nobody really like addresses what is actually being said. Blame CERN. Um, I've been having an incredible number of mirroring numbers to over the last few years, and it seems like the system we are navigating in has been trying to alert me. In what way do you mean? That sounds interesting. I think TikTok basically like stopped the chat. Is it stopped the chat? People still see me on TikTok? Can somebody go on TikTok and check? Because I don't want it to just be open. I'll just restart it then. Somebody say something. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know. It's like parallel universes, like the universe is splitting. But what I don't understand is that the level of like venom and I've been using this word a lot recently, but it really feels like it's the word that fits the most, like vitriol, like actual vitriol, like people like just like animals towards one another. And because everybody thinks that whatever the other side is doing is like the core. So it's not, obviously it's not like, of course, that in reality it's not about the side. It's just about particular attitudes and how people appropriate them. But like if you break down conversation, again bringing us to the point of the beginning of this video, I'm going to start advocating for this a lot more. uh it's not about being in anybody's face, or it's just actually listening and having a dialogue. If this goes away, everything goes away. Now, usually a lot of people, what they kind of tend to fall into the position, people really care and capable, they just stop talking. They're just doing, and everybody can yap. You can just, they're gonna keep doing, right? But I think it's more, it's bigger than that. It is, we have a shared responsibility to kind of relax a little bit and just have a more, you know, open discussion. Great. If splitting from time travel, no. Splitting from the same media that told you that America has time travel. Literally, the media is splitting the country, and I'm not even saying it from any conspiracy theory perspective. I'm showing you right now the claim about time travel. I just read to you what was the actual claim What was the literally the guy used the metaphor. The media that sat in the room went, he said that America is time travel. And they put it in the thing, which of course they gotta be like super dumb to think that. Obviously, they don't think that. So they write these things just to get clicks. And they do everything this way. So if they're leaning left, they're gonna lean so much left that to basically push the right all the way to the demonic side and vice versa. Like the right will do that the same thing to the left. Do you have the thing, baby? Ah, okay. Hold on, let me help. Let me help you. So basically, the media is at fault. And I'm not saying this is a conspiracy theory. I'm showing you that that's what's going on. The reason the country is divided this way is because the media, literally from the left, is saying that the right is the worst thing ever happened to the world, and the right media is saying that the left is the worst thing that happened to the world. Of course, in the end of the day, everybody are humans. Everybody are trying to do their best. And yes, there's always subjects that you can say, look, they're doing this because of whatever. But everybody trying to gain something, right? It's the nature of the game. But at least not attributing to one another the worst possible thing you can possibly imagine might be helpful, you know. But the media is really good at creating this image that everything is like that. I know this because there's a lot of subjects the media is talking about that I know things from the inside. Like I know exactly what's going on there because I was involved in some of these things and I understand what is actually happening. And then I watch what the media is saying and I'm like, that's crazy. That's just crazy. And then you have to ask yourself, wait, so what else are you guys talking about this way? And it seems to be everything. They just do this to everybody. Um it's definitely an ego war, Brian Brighton. What did you? Oh, you want to put the thing on it? All right. Journalists being obtuse, no way, no. But it wasn't like this always. You truly could trust journalists back then, which is like they would just tell you what happened. Big shout out to Cosmo indeed. Quantum is saying, I know Dan talked about it on one of the last live sessions, but I will try to find modus operandi to do so. Nice. Yeah, it would be nice if the fighting would end. We can end it. We just stop paying attention to it. Amen, brother. One day we'll be in peace. Exactly, Justin. Someone is using fear, anger, hate, or any other negative emotion to influence you. Stop listening to them. I trust some journalists these days, like Andrew Callahan, Tommy G. Cool. I don't like all the hate. Try to love everyone's. If everyone was my child, some kids are brats, but hating them won't solve anything. Exactly. What's happening? Oh, she's doing. Oh, that's why they're crazy. Somebody's crazy.
No. No.
Oh boy. Didn't realize.
What?
She
No, she's freaking out.
it's okay, baby. She thinks that motorcycles and revving of engines. Get in, baby. It's okay. She thinks it's like I don't know, a monster or a giant bug. She always freaking out about it. Somebody's like revving their engine. Exactly. Noise keeps us from coherence and truth. I'm telling you, watch that conversation with David Deutsch. I really recommend it. It's so informative. And I'll tell you exactly where. Hold on. About, at the 22-minute mark. Actually, let me do it. Copy here from current time. Here, I'm even going to post from the right time. This link will take you to the right time. This is so enlightening. It's incredible. It's okay, baby girl. Oh yeah. No, Cosmo doesn't care. Actually, he doesn't care. Xena is the one that's freaking out about these things. Poor girl. Poor girl. I was following quite a few prepping channels, but it's so negative I had to leave them. Every thumbnail is doom and destruction. Exactly. Best things I've done for better mental health. Yep. Just stop paying attention to this shit. Interesting. Yeah, I will admit though, that 42, nice. The tapestry of complexity becoming very difficult to navigate. I would give people that. I have a lot of sympathy towards people who don't really have direct access to certain kinds of information. I can't even imagine what it's like to navigate through this because I mean, in the end of the day, we're emotional creatures. So when somebody's telling you, "Hey, you should be upset about this," and saying it with enough confidence, it's very hard to believe that the media would lie about something that big, but they do. They don't even give you half false. Like they lie about things, like straight up telling you things that are just not true. And then because there's no accountability, they just keep doing it, and then you just have this crazy cycle. In addition to that, there's all these, what are they called? Clickbaits, right? Because obviously everybody wants clicks, but it's like where does our personal responsibility begin? And I would say it's there. Like even if you can practice not to be emotionally hijacked by whatever it is, if you feel a strong emotional response to, especially for a title of a video, maybe practice right there to just kind of pause. Okay, I feel the emotion, interesting, and then click on the video, see that it doesn't track what it said, right? And then make the connection, go, oh, so literally they lied to me about what this means. And I know it's like obvious, but make that emotional connection inside that whatever that is, most of the time it will be a lie, like associate a feeling with it. And then not half a truth, but a lie, right? Somebody that would say, somebody said like that this other somebody is the worst thing ever, and then you watch the video, nobody said such a thing in the video, so they lied to you, literally lied to you. So just register that. Yeah, no, it's algorithms, but you know what, it's not even that sophisticated. Very often what it would do, it would just kind of go to the lowest common denominator. They would try and like take something that the algorithms believe is just uniformly true of that particular demographic. um, SEX for men, shopping for women, and it would just kind of create versions of that, right? And it's really what it's relying on for the most part. We think it's the sophisticated thing, which I think to some degree it is, but very often it's just based on these like very very blunt categories. You have to convince me that we haven't been conditioned from birth, and the spiritual war is our battle against mind control. See that even there, like the concept of a battle, right? Because in the infinite scheme of things, if you believe in the soul and you believe in a God, then the only way to approach any of this is purity. And purity does not involve concepts of a war. Holy war is an oxymoron. That's not a real thing, right? So like if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, so to speak, if you believe in that stuff, there's no way it will include anybody who participated in any kind of a war, and that's the signature they carry with themselves, because it doesn't matter what the cause war was, that signature of "Urgh" can't enter heaven. It just can't, right? So that's actually the trap. The trap is that you're convinced that there's a right and a wrong, and on our level of emergence there are things that you can stop that are absolutely wrong, but at the same time, if you do it with a certain animosity inside of you, that automatically locks you outside of heaven. You cannot enter. If you can do it without the hatred in your heart, just because you know it's the right thing and you can act accordingly, but without the feeling of the hatred, now you're playing with real possibilities. You can still amend without the negative emotion arising from it, which is a very difficult thing to do. But that's the only way to do anything if you really are interested in that kind of stuff. The second your eyes are looking at something and hating it, even if you might be justified to think that people are doing something wrong, but the hating them should not follow. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Ebony. George Carlin's. No, there was it George Carlin? No, there was somebody else. Civil War, but there was also another bit. I don't know if it was George Carlin, but it was fighting for peace, and they're gonna definitely flag us now. Is like fucking for virginity. Let's see how long it takes. It takes them to flag us. I get it, Skinny, but even frustration, because usually the things you're frustrated with, all of us, not just you, are usually they're based on things that are not really doing anything in terms of solutions, right? So you can feel frustration, but unless it drives you to an action. So like frustration with something in the moment, it can be helpful. It's like somebody's overstepping a line and you go, yo, that's my line, right? Because you want to maintain a certain parameter. But unless you're going to go and do something about some of these world events, or you know how you can influence them, the only thing that was added to the picture is that you felt a negative emotion in the grand scheme of things. So there's another person with a negative emotion in the world. That's all that happened. Literally, that's all that happened. So it's almost like the only way to win is to just disassociate yourself from that kind of a. Yeah, it brings me back to something I spoke about on the live before, which is the um uh Shaolin monks have this concept of a compassionate. I can't say the word. That one will definitely flag us off. Uh, KILLING. So you know what that is. I can't say the word obviously, but compassionate, that, which has to do with if you tried everything you could and there's no escape and that's your only truly only option, you can do that, but do not have hatred in your heart towards the person you're doing that to. Have compassion for them to understand that they can't in the moment, they can't process. But if it's you and them and there's nothing else you can do, you're even according to karma, you will not gain it will not be negative karma as long as you don't have hatred in your heart. You can love them and do that to them still if they don't understand, and there's no other way. That's a real thing, and that's a very difficult thing to do, but it's a real concept. Humans are Bayesian machines. Yep, I'm glad you like emotional hijacking. It's exactly right. Belief should be held in superposition with a type of Bayesian probability. Nice. Yep, holding paradox equally important. Do you think the point of causing the frustration is to prevent spiritual awakening or not that deep? No, I think it might be. It might be. What's up, end of Findia? End of it. Oh my god. I opened it. Pakistani pilot, is that you? Did you change your handle? Make yourself believe both sides without believing either. I like that. What if you forcibly align their chakras and facilitate their ascension? Well, unfortunately, that doesn't work that way. Nobody can help you align your chakras. That's the truth. Nobody can help you fix your inner state. People can help guide you, but that's the job of you individually to do that inside. We are the only one to suffer from the hate. Exactly. I again, I spoke about this before in the live, but like even in one of the reasons that I knew that we have hope is because even Spike Lee was an incredible director, but all of his films they basically illustrate the struggle of African Americans, right? And he's a genius, incredible films. But notice that the note in most of his films is basically kind of like either you like it or not, it is kind of white man bad. Like it is that. Okay. So it's to some degree a very simplistic way of doing that. I understand the anger, but it is that. But in the one of the last movies that he made, if it's not the last one, I don't know if he made any other movies after that, but it was the one with it's based on a true story, if not just a telling of a true story about that police officer who's Jewish and he was undercover and he went into the again I can't say certain things because of TikTok, but repeat K 3 times. He basically infiltrated that organization, and he had a partner I think who was black, and then they basically got this whole thing going. Why didn't you put the thing on her? Okay. So they did this whole thing, and it's based on a true story. This actually happened, and the organization obviously they didn't know because he was just pretending first on the phone to kind of get information, and then they kind of had to meet them and they had to figure out like clever ways to penetrate that organization. But anyways, at the end, the reason I'm telling you this is because at the end of that film, I was very surprised. Again, incredible film. You should watch it. I forget the name of it. Hold on. Spike Lee's last film. Let's see. Hold on. What was Spike Lee's movie about the undercover cop? Black Klansman. It's called 2018. It's when it came out. Black Klansman. That's the name. Let me put it right there. It's a great film. Really good. I mean, obviously, all his films are great. So, at the end of that, the message was not white man bad. He said, the problem is hate. And I thought, wow. Yeah. The problem is hate. In all its forms, by the way. Because you can never, when you enter the hate space, you can no longer have any solutions ever. No matter what you believe about the actions of anybody, you can, again, you can do compassionate KILLING. Sometimes that has to happen. And again, we can argue back and forth, but sometimes in history, it's just there's no other way because sometimes you have regimes that are just beyond conversation. They're not interested in that. It's not like there's just a misunderstanding. No, they're aiming towards taking over. Okay, sometimes you don't have a choice, but even there, if we can, we should aim for not hating, because then when there is a chance to discuss a solution, you should take that chance, because otherwise you keep perpetuating the violence and the horrific things that just follow suit, basically. Where's my hold on, I gotta get a wipey for the screen. It's so funny. Okay, there we go. The second you enter the hate space, no matter on what level, you start projecting things on people. You start imagining that they're saying something they're not saying, because you're looking at it from your own frame, and you're now blind and deaf to anything that they're saying to you, or at least what they mean to say. Which is why, by the way, I keep saying that any organization, and you take your pick, you decide who these organizations are, but any organization, and I'm willing to put this as a law, that is against things will always end up being a failure in terms of the goals that it thinks it's trying to achieve, because it's not trying to achieve goals. Its aim is to be against something. There you go. Only organizations that are for something that eventually succeed, because in order to be for something, you need to build something, right? You have to make something happen. And any organization that shifts their orientation from being for something to being against something will always eventually fail in terms of what they're trying to achieve. They might succeed in terms of popularity or whatever. That's not success, though. Success means achieving the goal you set up to do. And eventually they become very toxic, and they create a toxic culture, and they basically create an environment of hate. The opening scene Baldwin plays a John Birch Society founder. Oh, you mean oh yeah, exactly. We're the only ones suffering from the hate. Yep. The way I see it, I was saying, the way I see it, humans were in the depths of survival for so long. We just came out of it. So those survival tendencies are baked into our DNA. Thus, they create problems out of nothing. I would agree with all of that. And yet remember that we override our DNAs all the time. We fast, which is completely against your instincts, which are in your DNA. If we believe that it's good for you, we jump out of planes if we believe they will survive because of parachutes, which every instinct in your body telling you not to jump, and you override that all the time. Every time you withhold a drive, you're overriding your genetics, which means that we have a lot more power than just the genes. Any thoughts on how you would use AI to decode the matrix? Not sorry, Dream Glitch. If you're new to the chat, I appreciate you being here, but this is something I spoke about ad nauseum at this point. I'm not going to repeat it here, but you can watch a lot of my lives in which I'm talking about why I think trying to decode the code is simply the wrong question at the moment. The short version of that is that you can't decode something you don't know what it is. You first have to understand the context of its existence and operation. This is a weird question, but I can't help myself. What do you think would happen if the true psychopath used the molecule? Don't know. I think it happens all the time. I don't think there's anything. Hey, baby, can you check what's up there?
Cosmo. Honey, come over here. Hey, look, look. Come here. Come here.
Could have a breakthrough. There are such things as positive psychopaths. It just takes work. Yeah, it's very difficult though. Quoting Ren and Stimpy, nice. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Star Wars is beautiful. But the simpler way of saying it is what the Buddha said, which is attachment is suffering. Nice. I feel like I don't fit in a lot because I have a completely different way that I move through life. That's beautiful. I don't know if I would agree with that, Tok Tok. You're saying psychopath equal ego equal grandiose sense of self on the molecule. Yeah, but again, the ego here is, I think, misused. There's nothing wrong with ego. Ego is very important. Your ego is very important. You wouldn't be able to know where the spoon is to feed yourself if you wouldn't have an ego. Ego is just the feeling that you are a separate unit. That's not what we're talking about here. True psychopathy means you actually derive pleasure of hurting other people. That's quite a different thing. That might be maybe a narcissist, but what you're talking about. But psychopathy is quite a different thing. So no, I don't think it can just be remedied by psychedelics. Sometimes things are not that simple. Ego is also attachment. Yeah, so according to the Buddha, any instance of existence is attachment. That's the thing that I think is very often misunderstood about the Buddha's teachings. According to the Buddha, or at least what was implied in his teachings, is that all the realms, including the heavenly realms, so it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable right now, but that means even God Almighty, as long as it exists as a thing in existence, it has an ego. It has attachment. It's not just to form, it's to anything. So that's why Nirvana is stepping outside of all of that, outside of everything, everything that it can possibly exist, outside of the realms of the heavenly realms, outside of all of it. So you will never get out of that problem as long as you're inside the karmic cycle, which means that you are in the house, which means you are. It doesn't matter where you are. It's all the same thing. What's up, Casey? Oh man, you just arrived and I'm about to adjourn. How do you know that what you are seeing, including the vision of Jesus, is not just another deception the entities are using against you to project their agenda? We suffer, struggle, and sorry. No idea. You have to go by something. You watch how things unfold over time and you make decisions and make corrections as you go. The short answer is you don't know. Just like you don't know that if you take your next step, you might not fall through the floor, but you trust it because you've done it 1,000 times before. So you go with it. Thank you so much, Casey. I appreciate you, brother. Have you found any ancient history that might be representing similar to what you are seeing? I haven't, but I'm not saying it's impossible. In Nirvana, you don't reincarnate? Yeah, Nirvana is outside of existence. Nirvana is literally you're no longer attached to anything, including the karmic cycle. So you're no longer reincarnate, exactly. Which is the only aim, according to the Buddha, that is worth pursuing. So it is much more radical than people realize. So the Buddha basically said, this is why it's such a radical statement. If you want to take the Buddha's teaching to its ultimate conclusion, to the limit, it literally states that the highest heavenly realms has no difference whatsoever with the lowest of hells. They're one and the same because you're in the karmic cycle and it goes on forever. So you will find yourself in both at some point, forever. So the only worthwhile goal is to step out of all of that, according to the Buddha, which is why it's such a radical teaching. It's part of the process to reach enlightenment. The goal is to eventually stop reincarnation. Yeah. So enlightenment means one step on the way to nirvana. Nirvana is beyond enlightenment. Why do you believe that time goes faster as you age? It is real. I don't know. It might be psychological. It might be actual. I'm not really sure. Jesus came to me in a dream when I was borderline atheist. That is so interesting. What is borderline atheist? You kind of believe that there's no God? Source has a signal. Source has a signal the ego can align with. It is a coherent thought pattern. Yeah, that's a way I'm comfortable with phrasing it. Connor Mack is asking, really? I thought attachment refers to attachment to body, mind. No, to anything, including conceptual frameworks, any worlds, no matter if they're physical or not. It's attachment, period. That's why the Buddha never added any words to it. Just like in the Bible, the teaching in one sentence is do not unto others as you would not want to be done to you. So the golden rule, the Buddha's teaching can be, and it was summarized in his words in these three words. Attachment is suffering, period, no matter what kind of attachment. Do you think Jesus was teaching the same thing as Buddha or not exactly? No, I think, well, depending on how you want to look at it, I think the Buddha was teaching something that was higher. There was more, he was talking about the universal law that includes everything, including all the frames, all the possible frames. Now, obviously, you can contend with that. I'm not saying that necessarily fall on, because certain things that I saw made it very murky and unclear and added a lot of parameters that everybody are uncomfortable with. But if you're asking me what the Buddha actually was teaching in relationship to what Jesus was teaching, I think I would have to go with the Buddha was basically talking about a much more universal frames, like even outside of that. They think in the Roma you can stop reincarnation too. I don't remember what that is. Totality or fullness of something, often used in theological context to describe the divine powers or the Gnosticism spiritual. Yeah, I don't know enough about that, to be honest, so I can't really comment. Do you think Jesus was teaching? Oh, we got that. Like I stopped believing in Jesus fully, but was on the fence about a lot. Oh, I see. I love that we teach that in kindergarten, do unto others as you would have done unto you, and then we immediately disregard that in adult life or even as kids. because of the percentage of experiences read new time, blah, blah, newborn 100% time on Earth. For every tiny new experience, the percentage goes smaller and smaller, and thus quicker. Yeah, one possible explanation. Oh yeah, David Wood. Well, let me see. Let me see a picture of him. Oh no, that's somebody else. But yeah, there was another guy who wrote a book about what it's like to be a psychopath. Is Buddha and Jesus the same God? The Buddha does not believe in God. He knew that there are many gods, but outside of that, it's all Nirvana. If these entities weren't being deceptive, they would be communicating with us directly and walking among us. We wouldn't have to break the veil substance and see them hiding behind the curtain. I hear you, but I can demonstrate very easily to you, Christopher, that would absolutely never be the case. So, if something is more advanced than you substantially, there's no reason for them to do any of that. So, for example, some monkeys we now know are entering the Stone Age. So they're starting to use spears to fish, starting to use tools. If we live here long enough, which doesn't seem to be the case because we're probably going to advance to something or destroy ourselves, hopefully the former, we will imagine that we would, let's say they advance more and more and more, and we still live alongside of them. Now, by then, we're going to have, way more advanced civilization, way more advanced technology than we have currently have even. And at that point, we'll be like, well, we see them and we understand what they are and what they're doing, right? But slowly, when they're going to start like coming to grips with reality more and more and start becoming maybe more advanced, start writing the first like arithmetic, whatever it is, like whatever stages they're going to go through evolution. Again, we share the environment and they're going to encounter us, but when they're going to see us, their perception of what we are with our flight and things like this would be way beyond their comprehension. But we're literally sharing space. So at that point, you have to ask yourself, would it be better if you could, to make yourself invisible to them because you would disturb them less and allow them to evolve in their natural pace? Or do you need to keep existing in their environment, even though, let's say, you could become invisible to them? Because that every time they encounter you, they're like, "Whoa, what is that?" Right? So you're disturbing their peace all the time. So actually, the more moral decision would be to make yourself completely invisible. So I'm not with you on that claim. Still was confused, but recently I fully believe after my mom died, I told Jesus to give me signs that she's okay and with him, and the signs were out of this world. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Jesus is cool, nice guy. Today is Good Sunday, right? Good Friday, Good Sunday. So let's give Jesus his due. We love you, Jesus. Then I had a lucid dream of my mom, and she showed me all over heaven. Wow, that's amazing. That is a crazy story. Have you ever thought about being a guest on the Duncan Trussell Family Hour? Oh yeah, I would love that. He's one of my favorite people. Just look at what humanity deals with. A third of the population is like humans with the suicide rate. So yeah. So I think you wrote this comment before I made my comment. So I think that answers your idea there. Possibly humanity is just having a cycle, or just stages. Texts are guides, enlightenment, but religion hijacked. So do I want to write a book? I am kind of writing one. I guess you can say that. Some believe Jesus was a mystic. Yeah, I don't think that really tracks. Fan of information together theory, depending on how. It definitely doesn't answer the hard problem of consciousness, which is what it was purporting to discern. So definitely not doing what it was, but it's useful. All right, guys. Unfortunately, thank you, Danny. I always appreciate your intelligence inside, brother. Keep up the great work revealing the simulation. I appreciate you, Christopher. Thank you so much for always showing up. Sorry I'm doing it so abruptly, but I do gotta go and attend to other things. I love you guys. Um, Good Friday. Let's all love and accept and listen. And I appreciate that this community can do that. If you want to follow me across platforms, you'll be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram, Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. Dango Thoughts. Come join our membership program because Sunday we have a members live for members only, in which we dive very deeply into all kinds of subjects. It's a lot of fun. Monday, we have a Zoom meeting. If you're second tier and up, come join our Zoom meeting. Early access to all my content and private stuff in my life that only lives on YouTube members, and you're helping the cause. So I would appreciate it if you join. Aside of that, come check out codeofreality.com and come join our Discord, which can also be found as the third link of my main YouTube channel, whatever. You know what I mean. Love you guys. Have a good weekend. See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao. See you guys. Have a good night.